Yeah, okay, time to live free. Plenty goals I'm achieving. Some real life topics and talking financial freedom. Mindset, soul and love, everything in between. This is Freedom Podcast. Tune in, live free. Hey, got my mindset right and I got the drive. Planning one day, no more job, no more 9 to 5. Love, money, mind. Love, money, mind. This is freedom. Tune in, cause it's going down. Woo!
Hi, this is Anna and welcome to another episode of Your Freedom Podcast. In this episode, I interview Tara Aytes. Tara is a Reiki master. She is also an author and a mum, and she helps entrepreneurs align their chakras so they can grow their business without stress. So if you are feeling stressed, if you have worries, fears, all of those kind of things, this episode is going to be for you because Tara's going to talk us through how we can get tranquility and peace in our life. So can't wait for this interview and can't wait for you to meet Tara. Hey Tara.
Hi Anna, how you doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm good. Well, it's lunchtime for us here in the UK, so it's great to have you and great to have you so early.
It is 8 a.m. here, Anna.
Yeah. So we've just had lunch over here. So really appreciate you coming on the show.
I'm glad to be here.
I know we recently connected in I think it was Boss Babes group, and I'm, as you know, I'm always into sort of female empowerment. And in the podcast, we focus on my 3 pillars, which is freedom in love, all around self-love and self-care, freedom in money, financial freedom, and freedom in mind. And the reason I focus on those 3 things is because those are the 3 things that I've got equilibrium in my life. Because when one of them was sort of out of sync, things weren't quite right. So I know that you do a lot around Reiki and helping entrepreneurs. And just really curious of how you got to this point in your life and why you're doing what you're doing today.
Okay, that is a very interesting story, Anna. So I'm going to take you a little bit back in time, but not too far back. But we're going to go back to 2018. I have a wonderful little girl who's 6 years old, and her dad and I were together for about 2 years. 2018 came, and it was, let's just say, a point we had a 1-year breakup where it was very volatile. We had lost communication. We lost trust at that point in time. And this is someone that I'd been my best friend, I'd grown up with, but things just kind of broke down. So, it just wasn't healthy, it wasn't good for us to be together anymore. So, like I said, it took a year for us to get apart from each other. And then from that point, it was just like the pain, the hurt, the depression. It was like, okay, I can't sit and wallow in this. I can't have her watch me sit and wallow in this. How do I thrive? That's when I started to, all right, I know how to take care of myself. I've been studying myself. I've been healing myself since like 2014. I was like, all right, we've got to just get back to the basics, get back to myself, get back to everything that I know and that I love. I started doing these challenges and I was just like, what are the 3 areas that if I'm not focusing on them, I'm going to be wallowing in, let's say, self-pity. So it was my mentality, it was my body, and it was my spirituality. So it was mind, body, and spirit. So I started doing these challenges. First, I would just do them on myself. I would fast regularly. I just was very into clean eating. I was into exercising, meditating, and I stumbled on to doing challenges and telling people, they're like, what are you doing? Because everyone kind of like saw this, like, I'll say, a situation of a woman in duress, so to speak. It's 20 years, it's a long time. Things wear on you. It's visibly obvious. People that are around you, like, something's going on with her, but maybe they're not going to ask you exactly what's going on at that point in time.
Yeah.
But once I started working on myself, people are like, hey, well, what are you doing? Because I don't know what was going on with you, but what are you doing? Because you look great now. So I started getting people involved. I'm like, well, I just do these challenges. And I was like, if you want, I'll guide you through it. And then it started with a small group, 30-day challenges. It was like all right, 3 sets of 10 push-ups. It was affirmations every day, and it was making sure that you meditate just so you got your mind, your body, and your spirit. Because I felt like when I was growing and focusing in those areas, I wasn't wallowing on things that
Yeah.
were wrong. And that's when I started to shift my mindset and my focus. And then I started to train myself. And then I went and started to get like more help. I found out about this whole community, the knowledge broker community with Tony Robbins, Dean Grazioso. I went through his like ultimate challenge. It was like really a interesting whirlwind experience, and it happened fast. Then we had COVID. I had a standoff, let's say, with my then 9 to 5, as opposed to, hey, I'm in the epicenter, I'm in New York, and I've got a kid. Everything is shut down. Yeah, I can't be there, and I can't leave her here. What's up? And they didn't have a plan for the pandemic. Most companies did not. So there's a whole hiatus where I was I was just completing a lot of different self-care and self-growth programs, and I got certified with the knowledge broker. From there, in that community, it's like over 200,000 people, but it's a community where everyone's there for self-improvement, for whatever their version of self-improvement. Some people are doing it for spiritual, mental, some it's just professional, but it always ends up with your being, because you can't really heal one part of you without another weakness showing up. And if you don't address it,
Okay.
it causes issues in other areas. But in this community, I had the opportunity to have unlimited Reiki. And that was, I'll say, May-ish of the pandemic, 2019. And from there, I was just like, wow, this made me feel great. And I felt like it healed me and prepared me for things that were yet to come, because we weren't through the thick of it. I lost both my
Exactly.
grandmas. Yeah, shortly after, from June to August, they both, one was 92, one was 95, had them both my whole life. And it was just like, and it wasn't due to COVID, it was just natural,
Yeah.
wear and tear, kidney disease, one had a fall for Valentine's Day, and it was like such a rapid decline. And then it was exposed. How did grandma have kidney disease? And how did we not know it was so bad? And how the hell did it, how did it happen? So then we started to look and like, okay, well, how do we take care of ourselves? And then, you have to think about generations, time. You've got, what was grandma? She was 92. So that's like early 1900s. What is that like? Prohibition, Reconstruction, like all the phases of history. It's like, no one's worried about self-care. They're worried about staying alive. They're worried about putting food on the table. They're worried about taking care of their families, but no one thought to take care of themselves. And I feel like
Yeah,
that's a
exactly.
huge problem with women. Like, we're programmed to just cook, take care of the family, but we're not told to take care of ourselves. But you're going to burn yourself out if you're not taking care of yourself, taking care of everyone else. So then it
Exactly.
was, and all the things that I was never taught, or all the other things, I was like, well, what can we do as women to prevent, disease at the end of the road if we start to do now? So that's when I started getting my self-care. I wrote my self-care book. And after my Reiki experience, 'cause I feel like that like healed my heart so that I wasn't like distraught when this happened a few months later. I was like, I've got to learn how to do this myself. It made me feel amazing. I know it did something physically to me, even though I can't, prove it or get a
Yeah,
test for it. But when you have a shift and your body feels healed, you feel like you're just invincible, like you're flying. And I was like, I've just got to learn how to do this. Then I went into studying, I found a teacher, and I got myself certified. And I was already writing the book because I felt, how can I show or help other women avoid the problems at the end of life if we start to do little things now, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s? It's never too late. I mean, our bodies can live such a long time. Our bodies are trained to heal ourselves, but we've got to give it the fuel and the ingredients and treat it the right way so that it can do that. And all the vices, all the distractions that we're just inundated with, they keep us from looking within. And that's where we need to start, because it's the inner change for the outer change. And the visible is just showing a reflection of what's going on in the invisible. So
yeah,
that's how I got started, Anna.
yeah. I think, I think you're so right, especially, I think men do it as well, but I think women do it more with the fact that they nurture children, and we just give to everyone around us. And it's us that kind of get sapped of energy, and we don't look after ourselves because we just kind of serve everything in the household.
Exactly.
And I also think this last couple of years, with everything that's happened with the pandemic, there's been a lot of uncertainty, hasn't there? And fear comes from uncertainty.
Absolutely.
Everybody has felt that, no matter what job you do or where you're at, everyone's had some kind of, I actually feel like a lot of people who work online or have had like a journey have not felt it so much, because when you've been through things, you've got the tools to be able to prepare yourself. But a lot of people that may be really, really impacted by the pandemic have had this like uncertainty, and fear comes from it. And we all need that kind of help with our well-being. So it's great to hear the journey that you've been on and the good things that you've done for other people.
Thank
So,
you, Anna.
so as regards to like all the stuff that you, where you're at the moment, how can you help people? What do you do now? What is kind of, obviously you were doing those challenges, you were doing, you've learned Reiki. So how do you actually help people specifically now?
One-on-one style, or I do group style coaching. I'm gonna do later like a training and like a live Facebook, stuff like that. So just a lot of different getting myself out there messages, but it's all about the mindset. It's all about doing one-on-one healing. We go
Yeah,
through all of the chakras when I do one-on-one and group coaching. I've got an 8-week program, because a lot of people don't even realize how important our chakras are, our thoughts are, our energy are. And you talk about the mind, and you know that shifting your thoughts can heal you. But we have vibrations. This is all like
yeah,
science, it's kinesiology. Like there's real facts and laws to these things. And there's a wonderful book, if anyone ever wants to inform themselves, Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins. It'll tell you the different vibration levels of your feelings, and then your thoughts. And then if you are below a level of 200, you are always self-sabotaging yourself. And that's just ranging from fear, doubt, grief, shame, anger. Think of those emotions. How many times is a person angry in a day? Someone pisses you off when you're driving and you're like zapping your body spiritually, energetically, because you're getting these negative emotions. So if
yeah,
you're angry just for 1 second, think of it as someone just shocking you with like a what is it, like a shock, or what do those police use? A stunner, a stun gun or something,
yeah,
like a sun ray. Think of you doing that to yourself internally. Every time you're angry, every time you're sad, every time you tell yourself something negative, you're sending a signal to your body. When you send enough signals to your body and you're zapping yourself enough, you're wearing yourself down. You're eventually going to be depleted. You're injured. How do you heal that? What do you do to restore it? So little things like that. So for women, the biggest things I find is inner dialogue and self-doubt, confidence. So when a woman, usually with the mindset, I usually tell them a little trick. We all have thoughts. Don't try to fight it. Accept it. It's okay, because when you fight it is when it's going to keep happening. Just like when you try to stop eating chocolate, it's like all over the place. It's in your face, it's on TV. Someone brings you some, truffles, whatever the case is, it's the same concept. But when you have that thought, at the end of it, acknowledge it. Know that your thoughts are there to try to protect you. Your mind is programmed to try to keep you safe. It's not going to help you grow. It's just going to try to keep you safe and comfortable. So anytime you're doing something new that might grow you, that scares you, like you said, fear, and that's another one of those emotions that zap you, that does zap you, you want to acknowledge the thought, and then you want to add a but, because maybe that was true 5 years ago, or maybe it was someone else's truth that was projected onto you, that you absorbed, or you heard it so many times that now you're subconsciously, you're replaying this to yourself. You want to add a but, and then you want to add a new thought. That's okay. Maybe that was then, that's not now.
yeah,
Or but I can change, or but I can let go, or but I can forgive myself. You know what I mean? So we
yeah,
just have to start to acknowledge the thought. Don't try to repress it, because when you try to repress it is when it's going to keep happening. But just acknowledge it, add a but, and then give yourself something new and positive. So I do little tricks with people I work with. Sometimes I'll send them messages during the day, a text message, like a little plus sign, like just a positive reinforcement, or a smiley face. If I want them to do different new habits, then just different points throughout the day, throughout the week. Maybe I'll send them a picture of a glass of water, like don't forget to give yourself some water. Little tips
yeah,
like that, where it's a surprise reminder. And little things like that. I even have them do like timers. If you have like an iPhone or Android, you can do like little alerts. Just put like a plus sign or a smiley face, and do this like 2 times in a day, whenever it is. And when it comes up, let it surprise you, and just take that moment for yourself. But we have to shift the programming because we're so used to, I feel like, feeling bad or just having
Exactly.
these
It's funny.
images.
It's funny you say this because I had this exact same conversation a few years ago with, I had talk therapy after like all my drama, and it was something that me and my like therapist spoke about a lot, that we all kind of tend to do it because it's this whole thing of like, I want to be strong, and it's
Mhm,
like shameful to accept something in a way. So
mhm.
my whole thing at the time was like not getting upset, like never getting upset, when actually it was energy in my body that needed to get out. Sometimes I just needed a good old cry to release it.
Yes.
So it's a similar thing, and it's like once that's out, like you say, you're sort of acknowledging it, but it's like, right, what am I going to change about it, or how am I going to cope with this situation? Or sometimes it's feelings, isn't it? It's not always like you're going to bawl your eyes out.
But
But
feelings are real.
similar thing,
Feelings are very real. They're real
yeah,
things. They have a
exactly.
real energy to them. And it's when they're
It's keeping
discredited.
that energy, isn't it? It's
Well,
keeping that energy in, and you need to get it out.
yes, well, because energy is real. So back to the chakras now. So Anna, it goes a little deeper, and I'll try to not to get too wooish because everyone in the world's not woo yet. But we have chakras. Chakras are just spinning wheels at just central points throughout our body. There's 7 major chakras. We've got our root chakra, we've got our sacral chakra, we have our solar plexus, we've got our heart, our throat, our third eye, and our crown. Every one of those chakras has a specific area of expertise, so to speak, or influence on our body. So our root or our base is our safety and our security, and that's our money flow. Our sacral, which is our second, that's our reproductive, that's our creativity. So women that have fertility issues, that's directly related to your second chakra. When you're lacking confidence, your willpower, that's your solar plex. When you're not having kind thoughts about yourself, if you're not loving yourself, then how the hell do you love anyone else? That's your heart. Your throat, when you're not speaking your truth, when you're suppressing yourself, when you're holding in your story, when you're so pissed off, but you're not saying anybody, and you're fuming inside, but you will not say it so that you can heal it or clear the air, your throat is clogged. And when your wisdom is blocked, we've all as women have had that, especially in some relationships, some, whether it's a parent-child relationship, a mate, man, woman, whatever your preferences, relationship, even with your children, sometimes things happen and you just don't express it. Maybe it's because you're not sure to let it out or how to let it out, or maybe you're so angry it's better to hold it in at that moment. But things need to be communicated. That's how things change and that's how you grow. When you're not feeling your wisdom and you're just not in tune, because your third eye sees everything. It sees what people are trying not to show you. But if it's clogged, then you're filled with illusion. And then your crown, that's how you connect to spirit, how you connect to God, source, energy, love, whatever a person would believe. But that is your gateway communication, how you would get messages and receive. And that's just a general brief overview, but they go so much deeper. There's crystals and you can heal with essential oils. I do Reiki, which is just sending symbols with meanings that originated in Japan, and it's really beautiful. It's completely holistic, but these all have an energy and they release those blockages, because when you have blockages, you have stagnated energy in your body. If your energy isn't flowing in a particular region, then there is definitely going to be a physical or an emotional indicator,
Exactly.
whether
Yeah.
back problems, insecurities, you've got jealousy issues, you've got terrible negative inner dialogue with yourself about yourself. And, being honest, think of the things that we've probably said to ourselves in our lifetime. They're probably some of the worst things that we've heard, but we're doing it to ourselves. Why is that?
Exactly. It's there's actually scientific research to prove that if you have anything that you have mentally, if you don't deal with it in a and get that energy out, or if for years you are stuck in this like block of absorbing all of this stuff, it will manifest into physical stuff, and that's why people get different diseases, isn't it?
That's absolutely how you get diseases, because if your body is a living being, an entity, which it very much is, whether it's accepted or not, but your body is alive, the things that you in reality put in it should be alive to support the living entity. Like trees need oxygen and water, our body should need oxygen and water at the least, not to get into the minerals and the care and all the other things that we could or should be doing that would help us thrive. But then think of what a typical individuals, and I'll say the Western world, you're UK, I'm the States, the
Yeah.
same, type of culture, fast, everything is accessible that you could imagine instantly. But where's the real nutrients? Where's the real care and support? Where are they teaching us how to not hold this negative energy in? Because when you have a blockage or your energy is overactive, then it's like having the floodgate to a river too high. If the floodgate to a river is too high, there's going to be a flood. There's too much water. Nothing, the equilibrium is thrown off. Same thing. If a river has a flow that's too low, it's stagnated or it's blocked, then you've got disease, you've got bacteria, the whole equilibrium, still the same thing, starts to get affected. Think of that same concept with our body and our being. If you've got a blockage in your back, if you've got a blockage in your reproduction organs, that's why people have fertility issues. That's why people have confidence issues. That's why people have, different thyroid issues with your throat. Like there's physical proof and there's real scientific evidence out there. Like energy has an effect and an influence on us 100%, whether it's accepted, believed or not. But if this is a real, and it is a real, it's a meta law, these are facts, then how do you shift it holistically, not mask it with medicine, not mask it with, vices and not distractions, to not look within? How do you heal yourself?
Yeah.
And that's where the interchange comes in, because if you do not address the inside, and it's the stuff that nobody sees, but it's the stuff that when it comes out, that's when there's a problem. There's already something going on.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's so true. And I think anybody that's listening to this episode who is feeling what's the phrase that we use a lot in the UK, I can't think of the phrase now, but where you're not releasing anything, you're keeping everything in, whatever that might be, like Tara said, about fear and anger, resentment, all these things, then have a think about it. I was going to ask Tara what was her, tip to share, and actually she already offered it. So,
I've got tons of them.
I love it. You were like, perfect interviewing. So, accept it or acknowledge it, I think was the words Tara used, and then respond. Was it respond to it?
Add the but. So acknowledge it. Add the but. It's a 3 little word, but it's priceless. Add the but, because it'll help to start breaking that shift, and you'll stop zapping yourself, because now you're going to feed yourself something positive. So let's say if I walked around and said, oh, I do everything wrong. Oh, what's wrong with me? I'm such a terrible person. I would never do this. But by the way, let's just say I did do that. Then I would add a but. But that's just something that you used to hear back in the day. Like, that's not really how I feel. That's not really what I think. But guess what? I can always change. I can always learn something new. I learned how to cook. I used to burn rice back in the day, but I can make anything I want now. So anything can be learned with a little bit of time and a little bit of attention. That's how you shift your energy. It's like focus your time and your energy, because you cannot destroy energy. You cannot create it. You can only transform or transmute it. And that's how and why self-care is so important. It has to look within.
Yeah, love it. And it's so true as well. So people listen to, how do people get in touch with you, Tara? If they're like, hey, this Tara lady sounds really cool, I need to connect with her, she can help me, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
I definitely can help, Anna. And I say, shoot me a message on Facebook, shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. I have my website, 30 Day Lifestyles, which originated from the challenges. Shoot me an email. My name is taraaytes@gmail.com. That's my email. I don't have any dots. I'm super simple.
Yeah. We'll put all your details. For anyone listening to this, we'll put all Tara's details in the show notes, so that people can just click directly onto those links. Love it. Really appreciate you coming on the show. I always ask everybody at the end of every interview, what does freedom mean to you? Because freedom, obviously it's the Freedom Podcast, and freedom means different things to different people. So what's
Absolutely.
freedom for you?
Freedom for me means that I have choices in whatever area I may find a challenge in. So if it is obstacle as far as for location and financially being free, I want to be able to work anywhere I want. I want to be able to show up when I feel like it. I want to be able to have my family as a priority, as important as an income, not have the income more important than my family. So freedom means that I don't have to choose between the two, that I can do them both freely and effortlessly and be fulfilled at the same time. I don't have to pick. I don't, it's not that world or that day and age where I can only have one and not the other.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Really love it. Thank you ever so much for sharing your story on the show, and also sharing some awesome tips that people can follow to help them through their challenges in life. Really
My
appreciate it.
pleasure. I'm glad to do it, Anna, anytime.
And great to connect with you. We'll have to keep in touch. So thank you ever so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Your Freedom Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and subscribe on my YouTube channel. And if you want to get more freedom in your life, then come and join Your Freedom Project Facebook group, which the link is below in the comments section. And I am giving you a copy of my visualization manifesting book. So manifest more freedom in your life and live the life of your dreams.
Hey, thank you for listening. Hope you had a blast. Here to elevate your life. It's the Freedom Podcast. Love, money, mind. Love, money, mind. Wanna see you all win. Wanna see you all shine. Just make sure that you subscribe. Bringing good vibes. Join the Facebook group. Now it's time to change your life. Hope you come back. Right now is the chance. This is an experience. It's the Freedom Podcast. Hey.